all, Noctum here with another look at Divinity Original Sin. Today I'm just taking a look at the character creation screen and the different class choices they give you when you start a new game. Now typically this game is played from the point of view of a female named Scarlet and a male named Roderick. You can, however, change both characters' names to whatever you want. And if you don't want to mess with all the more detailed customization options, you can just go ahead and select your starting class right here. Or you can go in and take a look at what we've got here. Now, if you would rather play with 2 female characters or 2 male characters, you can go ahead and do that here. You can select what portrait you want to show on your character's health bar. This here is a new option recently added in the most recent beta version. What this does is it determines what kind of personality this particular character will have when you are not playing it. That means, what will this character do when you are taking control of one of your other characters in the party? Right now there are only 2 options: to turn it off or to make it random. I suspect that there will be additional options available on release, though I don't know if anything has been confirmed. Of course, you can select your skin tone, and they have a lot of different colors to pick from here. Really wide selection. And you have a lot of different choices of faces. I'm actually pretty surprised by the amount of customization this game offers, considering it is an isometric view RPG. But I'm always a believer that the more character creation customization options you have, the better. You have a lot of different hair options. I'll just go with that. A pretty big selection of hair colors. You can also pick your character's underwear. I'm not entirely sure why, because, I mean, you're not really ever going to see it in game, but there you go. And go ahead and take a look at the male equivalent. They have a lot of portraits to pick from as well. The same skin tones that the female has. Their head options, for the most part, change their facial hair and give them different kinds of war paint. It doesn't actually look like it changes your face very much. Once again, a pretty big variety of hair. And your underwear for whatever reason. Alright, now one thing that seems a little strange for this game, since it is a classless RPG, is why are you picking a class on the character creation screen? Well, all this really does is it determines where your bonus points are spent for your attributes, what abilities you start with, and what your 3 starting skills are. This does not mean that these skills are locked to this class. It doesn't mean that this class has to wear the kind of armor it shows here. It does not mean that you have to stay this class later on in the game. This is just a good push towards this kind of build. If you know that you want to play a caster of some sort, then pick one of the caster-based classes, and it gives you the bonus to intelligence, some bonus to the different casting abilities, and 3 casting-based starting skills. That doesn't mean that you can't pick up some melee skills, or you can't decide, well, I really don't want to play like a witch anymore, I'd rather play like a warrior. That's fine. You can drop your intelligence and start putting points in strength, pick up some heavy armor, and start smashing people in the face. That's really not a problem. The choices they let you pick from here are Witch, which is your basic caster. It's kind of a darker themed caster. Your Wizard, which is pretty stereotypical, you fling fireballs and whatnot. Your Battle Mage is just a decent mix of melee and spells. Cleric is based mostly on buffing and healing your allies. The Enchanter has a lot of element-themed spells to start with. You do a lot of debuffing on your enemies, such as chill and slowing them down, that sort of thing. And you can buff your allies. Fighter, pretty stereotypical melee-based warrior wearing heavy armor. Your Knight is another heavy-wearing character that does a lot of melee abilities. The difference between the Knight and the Warrior is that you start with a shout. It's themed around the idea of causing debuffs on your enemies, such as fear, vulnerability, and buffing your allies. Your Ranger, pretty stereotypical bow user. Your Rogue, self-explanatory really. You involve a lot of stealth, sneaking up. You can't take a lot of damage, but you deal a lot of damage. Shadowblade just mixes the basics of a rogue and a mage. Your Wayfarer is a mix between your Ranger, you use a bow, you're more ranged, but you also bring in some magic elements such as poison. And that's pretty much it. We're back to the beginning now. Like I said before, the class selection really does not have that big of an impact on your game. By no means are you locked into it, and if you decide you don't like it, you don't have to re-roll your character. It's just a nice shove in that direction to make it a little easier if you know that's the way you want to go. Now in the future, I intend to do some videos covering the different systems, some more in-depth combat-based videos, a guide to crafting in the game, probably some walkthroughs. If there's anything in particular you'd like to see, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching.